Hello, Paul, and my new friends at Fungi Perfecti. My name is Shannon Brown. This is my garage/lab. And in this garage/lab, I figured out how to literally electrically charge mushrooms. And mushrooms will hold the voltage. They'll literally hold the electron, turning them into the world's strongest antioxidants. And trust me, I know what the others are. So you got vitamin C and cysteine and all that kind of stuff, way higher than that. And then I figured out how to get them back to powder, right? So you can take it in a pill or whatever, and sure enough, they hold the electron like a battery. Awesome. Coolest thing ever, right? So, in the middle, I've written lots of patents. I'm going to patent it and all that kind of stuff. I could start a business. I could sell the world's strongest alkaline, it's a whole thing, right? It's taking regular mushrooms and taking it to the whole next level. And I could do that, and I could convert mushrooms and I could stuff, but I don't want to. The reason I'm making this video is because I think Fungi Perfecti, you guys seem like awesome people. It's just a lot of fun. And Paul, the first time I saw one of your videos, I'm like, I want to be friends with that guy. And now we got something to talk about, so that's cool. Anyway, so that's what this video is about. I wanted to introduce myself. I wanted to tell you the technology that I'm onto. I wanted to tell you I'm more than happy to share, right? Like, let's do something with it. If you're interested, you probably don't need one more amazing, exciting thing, but if it floats your boat, then let's talk about it. Okay, so real quick, how did I get to this point? First off, I'm not a chemist, I'm not a biologist, I'm kind of a cabalogist in the middle somewhere. I love chemistry, I love biology, and it's just fascinating. And as I get older, I realize that the slide of life is oxidative stress. Almost every disease you can name is because of lack of energy, it's lack of electricity. It all comes back to oxidation. It all comes back to oxidative stress. And what that literally means is running out of electrons, running out of energy. So through a lot of years, I've looked at the world through, pH and acid, and I don't look at it that way anymore. I look at it through millivolts. And I think a millivolt is a much, much more interesting and accurate way to looking at the world. So let me explain what it is real quick. A millivolt, if you take a volt, you divide it into 1,000 pieces, that's a millivolt. You can kind of say it comes in two forms. One has a positive in front of it and the other has a minus. So if it has a positive, it means that it wants to steal electrons, right? So it is an oxidant, okay? If it has a negative in front of it, it is an antioxidant. It wants to give electrons, and it's also called reducing, right? So it's a reducing agent if it has a negative in front of it, which is a good thing. Everything that goes on in our body requires electrons. So for example, our cell takes in a glucose, it cuts it into two pieces. There's pyruvate, blah, 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 all kinds of stuff that it all creates oxidative stress. Our body has all these enzymes that make up for that. And it's an incredible system, but we get to a certain age where we start making less of those enzymes, right? So our body gets under more and more oxidative stress. On top of that, that's the reason why we get old. We don't even realize it. We look at the world and we think, oh, it's normal, right? You guys are looking at these gray racing stripes going, yeah, whatever, he's got some gray hair. No, that's not normal. What that is, that's oxidative stress. That's hydrogen peroxide at the hair follicle. And so like I say, you get this downward slide. So the thing is that you can put those electrons back, and I've done it, and it's awesome, and you feel great. So let's break this down just a little bit more. Every cell in your body is supposed to be a minus, right? So it means there's electrons there, a minus 90 millivolt charge, which means that's the mitochondria of your cell. And it means that we run on a little bit less than 1/10 of a volt. If we ran on 1/10 of a volt, we would probably be immortal. And we would heal fast, we'd be way the heck smarter, all kinds of stuff. And our body would never have an itis. Okay, so any itis in the body, so pancreatitis, hepatitis, gingivitis, whatever, that's all oxidative stress. In other words, the organ that you're talking about, let's just say it's the liver, has run out of energy, it's run out of electrons, right? And it's oxidative stress, and then it's inflamed. And so that's what inflammation is. By the way, along these lines, the term inflammation is not a disease. So therefore, you can talk about it. So in other words, there's a lot of disease. Almost every disease condition is oxidative stress, but the one that you can talk about openly and make claims about, if you can prove it, is of course inflammation. And there's tons of blood tests that you can do to show lowering inflammation and all that sort of thing, because that's what inflammation is your body doesn't have enough energy. Super cool, right? So every nerve in your body is somewhere between a 60 and 75 minus millivolt charge. So that means everything you've ever seen, smelt, felt, anything has been through those nerves, through that energy. And when that energy slows down, so that's where you get your peripheral neuropathies, your sciatic problems, your nerve problems, your teeth hurt, whatever, because the nerves are running out of energy and it hurts. And then like people that are riddled with pain, that's lack of energy. And it just goes on and on and on. That's why our vision goes down, blah, 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 you get it. I've changed that on myself. By the way, another thing that oxidative stress does is it makes grumpy old men, because I used to be a grumpy old man until I reversed it and like, whoa, the sky is blue. So much happier, such a better world. So it is reversible, and I'm showing you how, and this is the coolest thing ever. So this might be the crappiest video ever, because I'm just gonna show you on the bench, and it's late, it's tired, it's hot in here, but I wanted to get this video done. Okay, so real quick, for about 20 years, I've owned a company called Phenomenal Water. Phenomenal Water is the world's strongest alkaline water. I just wanted to explain it real quick because it's some cool chemistry. If you take oxygen, and of course, I mean, water, H2O, right? Big oxygen, 2 hydrogens. If you remove one of those hydrogens, you have what's called a hydroxide. And a hydroxide is an unstable molecule in the sense that it wants to get back to water, right? So my Phenomenal Water concentrate in the bottle is a 13 pH. And I don't know if you know pH scale, but that's ridiculous. Usually you can only have a hydroxide in a 13 pH in an incredibly mineral-rich environment, but I learned how to strip all the minerals back. So that's a major, major piece. And so my Phenomenal Water concentrate, for example, you take an ounce of that, you put it in 32 ounces of drinking water down the hatch, and it's looking for acidity inside your body. It's looking for hydrogen, or more specifically, positively charged hydrogen, so the acid side, the electron stealing side, and then it turns back into water, and you get rid of it. So that's super cool. Second thing is, I'm the chief chemist guy for a company called Divine X. We haven't launched yet, but we're going to. We patented it and all that sort of thing. So Divine X is the world's first alkaline alcohols. So alcohol, when you drink ethanol, your body has to convert it to acetaldehyde and acetates, and all those conversions require electrons. I figured out how to put the electrons back into alcohol before you drink it. Super cool, right? So it's healthier. Here's the cool part. We have a friend in common. A friend in common is Geeta from NIS Labs in Klamath Falls. Geeta certified our Phenomenal Water. She certified the alcohol. Phenomenal gave 95% protection against oxidative stress, and the alcohol gave 90%. And I sent her Jose Cuervo, Tito's, and vodka, and I made up our version of, vodka, tequila, and whiskey. Anyway, the others, the standard ones gave no protection at all, and ours gave, like I said, 90%. So that's super cool. Point of all that is that I was telling Geeta about the mushroom thing, and she's like, cool. I don't know how well you know Geeta. I love Geeta. Anyway, she told me she's done a lot of work with Fungi Perfecti. And so even with Geeta, okay, so like I've told her, I'm making antioxidants that can't compete with natural products. They're not even the same ballpark. And the easiest way, of course, all these will be certified through somebody like Geeta and all that kind of stuff, and that's easy to do, but it's a no-brainer, because if you just take a millivolt meter, you put it in a liquid, and it's gonna give you a number. It's either gonna be positive or negative. And so the higher the negative, the bigger the antioxidant is. And once again, remember, we are supposed to be around a minus 90. So especially anything higher than a 90 is gold. So let's get on with that. Like I say, it's late, but I'm gonna show you on the bench, and let's get on with it. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. So first off, I gotta apologize. This was my dad's stir plate, and last week, I was like, so I do a lot of work with sugars, and this thing is just trashed, right? I mean, it's fairly old school because it was his. So last week I stripped it down, I painted it. I did that in a week. Big old spill. My counter was painted 2 weeks ago too. Anyway, this is what we're gonna do. Got 2 beakers. I put 200 mils of water, same water, and then we're gonna take regular turkey tail mushrooms, right? Just regular old turkey tail. I measured out 3 grams of that. And then there's my version of turkey tail mushrooms, and it looks a little different because it went through the freeze dryer. And we're gonna put them in, and we're gonna do the millivolt thing. I purposely, well, hang on a minute. Okay, so there's that. Let's see how well I can work with one hand, right? Okay, so this millivolt meter, I purposely put it in a slightly antioxidant solution. So, I should show you. So watch here. I'm gonna put it back. Notice the number goes to negative. So millivolt meters don't have, or at least this one, doesn't have a plus, right? But if something is an antioxidant, it does have the minus. So I'll show you. So I put it back in the water, And, you know, it's just gonna kind of cruise it along. Anyway, okay, so this is 3 grams, regular turkey tail mushrooms. Boom. Here, let's watch the meter, that's more interesting. Oops. Simple enough. So, turkey tails are an oxidant, according to this meter. In other words, this solution wants to steal electrons. You know, it's not that big a deal. And as turkey tails, as the body assimilates them, it is packed with electrons, and your body sort of unpacks it. Okay. The way I see it is kind of like saying, I'm going to give you $100, but it's going to cost you 50. Right? So to get this number back to a negative, which would be an antioxidant, your body has to take it apart. And it's going to cost that, right? Okay, so there's the first one. When I did this before, came up with a 112 plus, and we're at 115. So that's pretty close actually, because these meters, they lie a lot. you're kind of looking for a range. Okay, so let's put the other one on there. Rinse the thing. Okay, so now we are gonna put this turkey tail in. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. Kaboom. Look at that. It's beautiful. It's gonna make me cry. Right the other way. So that negative right there means everything in the world. And when I did it before, I called it Super Turkey. It came to a minus 115. Looks like this one's going a little higher. Like I say, they're almost never the same. I mean, if you're going to certify something like this, it is through like NIS labs or whatever. But it's, you know, meters kind of wander around. But we're close. I mean, that's really, really close. Anyway, if you'll notice so the net antioxidant value or reducing power is a minus 227 millivolts. So in other words, this turkey tail mushroom is holding basically a 1/4 volt, especially with these numbers being a little bit higher. A 1/4 volt, and once again, our body runs on 90. So the antioxidant or reducing power of this turkey tail mushroom went through the roof, and I know I can even make it stronger. So what are we gonna do with this? You know, obviously this can turn back into a capsule, and there's lots of studying, there's lots of things to do. What other mushrooms out there would do this? I don't know. I don't need very much to find out. But anyway, I just think that, you know, if you guys want to do something, call me. Let's do something cool. Hey, thank you for watching this video. Hope it wasn't lame, and we'll talk to you soon.